Hey there and welcome to Fanya Mambo Africa here at the Alfa House. Super excited to be coming to you live today from Wamunyoro, the residence. And of course, on this, we are collaborating. We are not alone. I have none other than the Mraya himself.
Africa, ekonene.
Bas. And with us, obviously, being in Wamunyoro, you know what we have. Africa, introduce our guest.
Yeah, so vile unacheki, leo tuko na Rigiji, tuko na Rigathi Gachagua. And vile si wanzaga jo, ekonene.
Ekonene.
Yeah.
Ekonene.
So I'm hoping we can have a conversation on various things.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I have to, first of all, congratulate you. Like, you have a very beautiful home.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is my safe haven, my rural home. I was born and brought up here. The air is fresh. You are next to the Mount Kenya forest. The mountain is just, you have a beautiful view from here.
Yeah.
Good people around me here. This is where I find my sanity. Anytime I come here, I don't want to go away.
Yeah.
I dread going back to the capital city.
Yes.
I want to stay here because it's quiet. It's nice. People are nice. It's friendly, fresh air.
Yeah.
So welcome to Wamunyoro. And I hope you enjoy your stay here.
When you say you grew up here, what do you mean? Like this is your family's farm or just the area itself?
This is my farm bequeathed to me by my late parents. My parents had two farms, one 7 kilometers away from here, and this one here. So in their old age, they were very organized people. They gave two brothers here, myself and the lead Dr. Wachira. We were given 6 acres here, 3 acres each.
Yes.
And the other farm were given to my other two brothers. So we came here in 1972 when I was 7 years old.
Okay.
I've been here all my life. This is where I belong. And when my days come, I'll be buried here.
Scribe makes step-by-step guides for any process with
were politicians in their own right. They were leaders in their own right. They took part in the Mau Mau liberation struggle, fighting for our land and freedom. So I am the child of my father and my father. We are basically freedom fighters. We are leaders. And we have grown in a political family. And my late brother, the late Rigathi Gachagua, was a member of parliament for this constituency called Mathera. He later became the governor of Nyeri before he passed on. I started here as MP for Mathera. I later became the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Today, I'm the DCP leader and the next President of the Republic of Kenya next year.
Okay. So I have to go back to the family thing. So you grew up with like a family of four brothers, or you have a sister?
No, we had a great family. My father was polygamous. His first wife, the late Nyagodhi, had 4 kids. My mother had 9 kids.
Okay.
I'm the 8th born in a family of 9.
Okay.
So we were 13. We have lost many of us, quite a number. From my family, my mother's family, we've lost the late Dr. Wachira and Ririani, and we are remaining myself from the sons.
Yes.
And 5 daughters.
Okay.
The other family, 2 are dead, 2 are surviving. So we are there, and we thank God for long life. And we love one another. We are a great family. Okay. We are very united and very cohesive.
So when you talk of them being politicians and them being involved in the struggle, like, could you maybe elaborate on that? Because this is to connect with your start as a DO, started out as a DO. So what's the connection?
Well, when I came from the University of Nairobi in 1988, I was a student of political science. I sought for a job. Those days it was good. It's not like now. Once you got admission to the university, your life was sorted.
Yes.
Indeed, I remember once our mother educated you up to Form 6 and you passed, You never see her again. The next time you saw her, she was asking for money because it was automatic.
Yeah.
In fact, employers would come to the university to recruit people into employment. Yeah. So when I left the university in 1988, because I had studied political science and I had a political mind, I sought for a job as a district officer. That is public administration. And I went to the Public Service Commission and I got the job. And I went to the Kenya Institute of Administration, KIA, which today is called the Kenya School of Government. That's where I did my induction. And I started my job as a young officer at the Ministry of Home Affairs as an assistant secretary to the late Davidson Koguru, who was the Minister for Home Affairs. Later on, I was posted as a district officer to Kirinyaga, Kishogo. I stayed there for several years. Later on, I was recalled to the office of the president. I became a personal assistant to the head of public service, secretary to the cabinet, Professor Philip Mbithi, who had served as vice chancellor when I was a student at the university. I worked with him until 1993. I went back to the field. I served in Kiambu, I served in Laikipia, I served in Garissa, I served in Turkana, I served in all manner of places. And years later, I became a personal assistant to President Uhuru Kenyatta when he was the Minister for Local Government and Kanu presidential candidate. And I worked under President Uhuru Kenyatta. And when we lost the elections in 2003, I continued serving him until the year 2006. That is when I requested him that I would like to go to business. I went to business from the year 2006, but I continued helping him through until he became president in 2013. I never went back to government. I stayed as a businessman until 2017, when my late brother Gachagua passed on in February 24th, 2017, the people of this area, because they loved his leadership. And I was part of his campaign and his leadership improved upon me to contest the Mathira parliamentary seat, which I did at a Jubilee ticket and won. Handsomely, I got 54,000 votes against 28,000. And I went to parliament for 5 years. There in parliament, I started working with William Ruto. We developed a good rapport. I helped him the campaign until we won. And he picked me as his running mate. And the people here, accepted. They gave us a vote and I became deputy president. I served for 2 years. We fell out. And he got MPs and senators and coerced them and intimidated them, bribed them to throw me out of office. They did. I left gracefully. I came here and dusted myself and woke up and started reorganizing my politics and my leadership. I founded the DCP party, which I'm leading today, and is a vehicle through which I want to seek the presidency.
Okay. Before, you've mentioned your fallout with President Ruto. Of course, many people have never known exactly what happened. Would you want to tell us what caused the fallout?
Yeah.
You're not eating onions wrong. You're destroying them before they help you. Let's be...
The two of us are totally different. I'm a very truthful man. I'm a very honest man. And I thought he was like me. And I must say, he's a very good actor. He deceived me and deceived all of us. And we thought he's a great Christian. He would be in church every Sunday. He would quote the Bible. He would talk to us with a lot of, conviction. And I swallowed a bit, and I believed he was the best man for the job. But once we got to the office, he came out his true colors as a dictator, as a businessman, as a ruthless politician, as a man who cannot keep his word, too many promises, too many lies. And we started having differences quite big, because I am not that way. And the people I had persuaded to vote for him started asking me very serious questions, and I couldn't have answers. So I started disagreeing with him on many things within government. With a lot of respect, I would go to him and say, boss, this is not right. Evictions and demolitions. When we were campaigning, we told our people there will be no evictions and demolitions, and if they have to happen, they have to be human, and we have to know where somebody will move before you remove him from where he or she stays. We agreed there will be no night demolitions, and these things started happening and had a big problem. Along the way, we abandoned what we had promised the people. We had come in with a promise of the bottom-up economic transformation, lifting people from bottom to up. But as soon as we got into office, we started overtaxing people. We started using taxes on luxury, on things that are not necessary, and the people started to cry. And because I'm somebody who listens to people, they would come to me, I would go to him, and he would dismiss me with contempt. And we couldn't have a good working rapport. But our real issues came during the finance bill of 2024.
Before we reach, could I ask you one thing? I covered the elections just before 2022.
Yes.
And I remember one of the videos that I did, because I always do reaction videos, was a reaction video of no Rigathi, no Ruto. And from that, what I got from that video was, you are not his first choice for DP, Deputy President. The first choice was Kindiki. And apart from that, I remember, I think it was last week, Moses Kuria was on KTN and he said the same thing, that you are not Ruto's first choice. Ruto was arm-twisted into it. And with that, the relationship started on shaky ground, because he felt like at that moment he needed you, because he needed the mountain. But you see, you are not his first choice.
No, it's true.
So, yeah. So,
looking back, I think so. One thing is that he had promised the running mate position to so many people. He's a very deceptive character, just like he has done today. Today he has promised Kindiki, he has promised Joho, he has promised Wanga, he has promised GK Kariuki, he has promised more than 10 characters. Even that time he had promised so many people. And he had promised me. He had promised Kindiki, he had promised Anwar Guru, he had promised Alice Wahome, he had promised Dende Nyoro, he had promised Justin Muturi, he had promised Musalia, he had promised Wetangula. And he was just playing around with us. I don't think I was his first choice. But I think being a very pragmatic politician and practical, he looked at the whole configuration and he was very clear in his mind that if he picked Diki, he would have lost the election. So it was convenient to pick Rigathi Gachagua and dump him later. In fact, I think the decision to remove me was made even before I was picked. I am totally convinced today that I was just a lander.
And you didn't see it coming?
I didn't see it coming. I'm a very honest person. And I'm a person who believes and trusts other people. Because myself, I'm very trusting and I'm a very dependable character. So I really felt we were together. But looking back, I can see that he didn't want me. He wanted a Rigathi running mate and a Kindiki deputy president. A Rigathi deputy president is good for him because Rigathi has a mind and he's a very principled character, and I'm also a strong man like him, and I don't think he wanted that. So during that time we had that issue. I went and said, he told me to get prepared and got his communication person, Hussein Mohammed, to help me to draft acceptance speech. And he asked me to come with my wife.
That's what I'm asking. Don't you feel like he felt twisted? Because I remember that time when we were covering it, everything was pointing at Kindiki. And then even by the time you're being announced, it's like 2 a.m.
Remember he knew what he needed.
It was like at 2 a.m. So he's no Rigathi, no Ruto protests.
No, far from
must have pushed him.
Far from
protests.
Far from it. He knew what he wanted. He wanted the Rigathi. He was just managing the others because he had promised everybody.
So the protest came from who?
Our people were protesting. But he had promised everybody. He was just managing the others. He had already called me and told me it's you. And asked his people to help me have an acceptance speech. Told me, come with your wife and your children. And I came in a suit. All the others did not come with suits because he had not told them. And then he pretended to consult everybody and kept it long so that all the people he had conned can feel that he has tried, but he has been twisted. But he knew, he was clear in his mind. He has done his arithmetic. He knew my persuasive power. He knew my mobilization skills. He knew I had the ear of the people, and he knew for him to get the mountain vote, he needed Rigathi Gachagua. So he created an impasse, an artificial one, just to manage the other people. But he kept on telling me, don't worry, I'm managing it. Yeah, but we watch it too. Please give me time. He kept on doing that. My supporters were getting very wary, yeah, because they could see there is deception. But he was just managing the others. He had already made up his mind that the running mate would be Rigathi Gachagua for him to be president. Equally, looking back, he had decided he would either drop Rigathi Gachagua before 2027, just before, or in between. And I think what happened, his game was to drop Rigathi Gachagua during the second term. But halfway he realized Rigathi Gachagua had become very influential. And he realized that if he lets him stay, yeah, by 2027, it's not possible to drop him. But it is the exact opposite. My being removed have made me 20 times popular than I was. Today, I enjoy the kind of popularity any politician would love in his life, you know. And when he was removing from office, he was told by Chongo and others, you remove this guy, crown ikitolewa ni mabati. This guy is only popular because he has a position. The people of the mountain are not interested in people. They are interested in positions. Once you get rid of him, that's it. 2-3 weeks you'll never hear about him. But he didn't know the mountain because he's not one of us. And I told him, the people of the mountain hate betrayal. Betrayal has no remedy in the mountain. It's punished unapologetically. And even him, and he knows, he was a beneficiary of the community's distaste for betrayal. When the people of the mountain felt like Uhuru Kenyatta had betrayed him, they decided to punish Uhuru Kenyatta for betraying William Ruto and elect William Ruto as president. And I told him that time when we were just arguing, when I saw where he's going, I advised him, I said, my brother, I think you are making a mistake of your life. These mountain people hate betrayal. You are a beneficiary of the community's distaste for betrayal, and you are not one of them. They have punished one of their own to affirm you, and you are not one of their own. If you betray their own and you are not one of their own, they will punish you 100 times. What I told him has come to pass. Today, I was seeing meetings in Thika. His allies would not speak. None. Not Ichungwa, not Alice Nganga, not Muratha. None could be allowed to say anything. And what he doesn't know, those people have nothing against Ichungwa. They have nothing against Alice Nganga, nothing against Muratha. They were sending a message to him. But because he is president and our people respect authority, they don't shout him down. They shout his allies down, but they are sending a message to him. We are through with you. You betrayed the mountain. Nobody betrays the mountain and gets away with it. So let me once more say that that was his script. And I saw it later on when the first 1 year is when I started seeing signs that I had been betrayed, I was unwanted, and I would be shafted. But I put my foot down, I did what I needed to do. The rest is history.
So do you and the president hate each other?
I don't hate anybody myself, but I hate his actions. Abductions and extrajudicial killings I hate because I'm a Christian. The 10 Commandments tell us, thou shalt not kill. I was very bitter with abductions and extrajudicial killings, and that is what made us disagree completely. And that is when he decided I must leave. So you know, do you remember when the finance bill came, I told him this thing is unacceptable, and the people of Kenya will not take it. And if you insist, there will be rejection, and we shall be left with an egg on our face. Please don't force it. He decided to force it. When it was forced, people say no. And then the Gen Zs came up with a protest. Then, in the National Security Council, a decision was made, and I sat there to clamp them down. And I said, no, I disagree with that decision. I said, let's listen to these young people. They have a point. And what they are saying is what the whole country is saying. He said, no. So, on June 25th, when the kids were massacred in Parliament, he called a press conference at night and said that these kids are criminals and they are treasonous, and he'll crush them. Still being in office, I went to Mombasa and called a counter press conference, and I told him off. I said, you can't kill these people. They have a right to say what they are saying, and these kids are not criminals. They are my sons and daughters. We should listen to them. That is what broke the camel's back. We never talked again. We would talk through SMS, through WhatsApp messages, because he felt it was total insubordination, and he felt I had ridiculed him publicly. But I needed to.
We've all been there, typing, deleting, retyping. Now
to our young people and the Kenyan people that I was not part and parcel of abductions and killing children. I could not be party to it, and I had to disown it publicly, because if I didn't disown it publicly, today I will be carrying that burden. My hands will be full with blood of the Gen Zs. I'm very happy that I was predicted. I talked, everybody heard me. Today nobody can blame me for those killings.
Okay, but I'd ask, like, when did you start becoming uncomfortable with the extrajudicial killings? Like, do you know a specific period?
Yeah. I think I think around April 2024.
Because the reason why I'm asking you that is Ruto's acceptance speech. He talked about extrajudicial.
Yes, he did.
And he talked about the extrajudicial killings under Uhuru.
He did.
So that means that these extrajudicial killings were happening. Remember? So he said that this new government is going to come and they're going to be extrajudicial. Then in 2023, remember there were protests, mostly in Kisumu and what? There were a lot of extrajudicial killings. Those are the people who got compensation this week from the courts. So do you understand why when you say you are against extrajudicial killings, it does not make sense to the average Kenyan? Because you're like, that was happening. It didn't start in
William Ruto and I were on the same page initially. We had promised the people of Kenya that extrajudicial killings will be a thing of the past, and the use of the criminal justice system to settle politics will never happen. Yes. And that is why it was in his inauguration speech. We were on the same page. As soon as we got into office, I started seeing this bad habit creeping back. And I told him, respectively, in private, boss, these are the things we promise, and things are getting out of hand. Please, let us not go into that direction. He didn't listen. So as we went on in early 2024, I started getting reports and concerns that a special squad of 101 people had been formed for the purposes of abductions and extrajudicial killings. And I told him no. So one day, the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya then, the Honorable Justin Bidad Muturi, came to see me as Deputy President. William Ruto was out of town. And he told me, my brother, my own child has been abducted. I have tried to call the IG. He is taking me into circles. I have called the DCI. He is taking me around. I have talked to the PS Interior. He's just taking him into circles. I have talked to the Director General of National Intelligence Service. He's not telling me anything. I have talked to Kindiki, who is the CS Interior. He's just lying to me. I am very unhappy. And I've come to complain to you as Deputy President.
2024.
2024.
Yes, because the reason I'm asking is 2023. In 2023, I don't know if you remember, but there was this even headline that Rigathi Gachagua is planning mayhem against protesters. That's Raila who said that. So this was around the 26th of March 2023. Look, this statement I remember you made. Where
that was an accusation.
You expect, no, asked, like, do you expect the police to kiss the protesters?
No. That was an accusation.
But you understand what that means? It means that when you're in government, you didn't have a problem with, because a lot of protesters were killed.
I had a big problem. I am a very strong believer in the rule of law. And stopping protests is one thing. Killing is another. I don't believe in killing. Protesters can be dispersed using necessary force, which is allowed